Good.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to Fuzzy Loaf Comic Book Club episode 4. This week we're talking about Sex Criminals, which is from Image Comics. I'm Matt, and with me is
Scott.
All right. Do we want to talk about comic book news now or after?
We'll save that a little bit
Save
for
that
the
for the
end.
end.
Save my what to pick up.
Okay. So, like I said, we're talking about Sex Criminals Volume 1. This comic is about Suzie, a librarian, and John, an actor, I guess, kind of. Not really an actor, he's a secretary. And they discover that they both have the ability to stop time when they orgasm. So this is a very adult comic. Well, I should say, it depends on what, I was thinking about this, it depends on like what region of the world you live in. If this is more adult than Saga is, because this is definitely
I feel
more.
like Saga's way more adult.
But
than
this is way more overtly sexual and a lot more nudity on both ends and stuff like that. Whereas Saga is more violence.
That's true.
There's sexuality and stuff riddled in.
Saga is like HBO. This is like, I don't know.
This is like softcore porn, kind of.
Yeah. Did they actually show anything in like nudity in this comic?
Yeah. Yep. They show female and male nudity. They show them in the act of sex. They imply oral.
I guess I'm just so
multiple times.
desensitized. To me, it's just like I'm just.
No, yeah,
I'm just reading the story.
It's whatever.
None of it matters to me.
So before we get into any spoiler stuff, you read this a while ago. I just finished reading it this morning.
Yeah, I
actually.
forgot to read it again.
Yeah,
Forgot, didn't have time to.
Yeah,
So.
I've just finished it this morning. I've had this since I bought the Image Humble Bundle like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So this is my first time.
So you're really
reading
fresh,
it.
and then I'm not. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool that way.
Yeah. So would you recommend this to people?
I thought it was pretty good. Honestly, for me though, it was kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to reread it again. Is because I did not remember as much
Mm-hmm.
as like say when I read Forever Evil, which was like years ago. I remembered a lot from that.
Yeah.
Where this, I don't remember as much. I couldn't even remember the characters' names. I had to look it up on Wikipedia.
Oh, and I should preface this, or we should note, this was written by Matt Fraction, and the art is done by Chip Zdarsky.
The art is really good in this comic. That I do remember.
Yeah,
the use of color is really cool.
So the art kind of reminded me of like a mix between Archie comics and like more contemporary comics, where the characters, the people have like kind of almost caricature features sometimes. Like John has a big nose, like it kind of almost distracting.
That's right.
And like
It's got
little
a real
touches like
Jughead
that.
nose.
Yeah. But the art was great. It's really colorful. A lot of cool effects that I don't know, that were probably digitally created, just by my guess.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
I think it's kind of cool, and when you can incorporate digital stuff into comics nowadays, and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And then I wish I grabbed the images because I bought the Humble Bundle version. I got the alternate covers for all three, and for issue number 2, they have a cover that mimics the Queen album, where they're all wearing black on a black background, and it's just their heads. Because in that issue,
Oh, that was the Bohemian Rhapsody
Yeah.
video.
yeah, whatever, yeah. No,
Yeah.
but they used it on a cover.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like Queen that much.
But it was cool because in issue number 2, there's a part where she's singing "Fat Bottom Girls," and that's a Queen song. But they couldn't put the lyrics in the comic because they couldn't get the rights to it. So what they did is they had the lyrics already written, and they just put like the writer and the artist's comments over everything.
I remember that,
and it was really funny. So the alternate comic cover it was mimicking the Queen thing, which I thought was really cool.
That's weird that they couldn't put the lyrics in the comic because they needed the rights
Queen,
for that.
Queen is one of the bands is like really, really against commercial use of their music and their lyrics. So when it happens, it's very, very rare. So, and it could have just been they wanted way more money than they were willing to give.
I feel like that's just something like if you were incorporated into like a piece of literature, you should be able to like quote a song.
Yeah,
I feel like
it depends. Yeah, it's really dumb because
you're the music business guy. So
yeah, I
you
was
know
gonna
all
say
that stuff.
it's really dumb because they treat it as like
I feel like it's like
a
quoting
public
poetry.
yeah, it's like a public performance of the work, even though it's not really a performance. So you have to pay like certain royalties and sync rights and stuff like that.
Fucking
even
big
though it's
business, man.
And I should note that they said it was their lawyer that was holding things up, not them, not any of the surviving members specifically. So it could just be their lawyer or their label is
Just
like,
a
nope.
shithead.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought that was cool. And then,
It was funny. They did with what worked well with what they had.
yeah, and it's this comic is really, really, or this volume. I haven't read beyond this volume, so I don't know if it continues this way. But it's really funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's like it's kind of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Suzie and sometimes John are talking to you as if like they're breaking the fourth wall. They're talking to you directly. It's
Yes,
like a kind of a Deadpool.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Deadpool thing, but less crazy.
Right.
Where it's like something may be going on in the scene, and then you see another version of themselves in the same scene who's like looking at
Breaking
you
it down for
as
you.
if you're the viewer and going, "Yeah, this is."
See, I
what's
didn't
going
even
on.
remember that.
Yeah. Oh, and then another alternate comic cover was recreating Clockwork Orange.
Oh, cool.
He's doing
Yeah.
this thing with the eyeliner and stuff. I thought that was cool too.
I like variant colors. Like
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, oh wow, I'm surprised. And there was also like a whole making of the comic.
So
and
was volume
commentary.
1 issues 1 through 3?
Issues 1 through 5?
1 through 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't remember what the alternate covers were for the other ones. Those two stood out to me because I was like, oh, I reckon like those were touching on pop culture things. So we talked about the art. Like you said, really vibrant use of color. The art I thought was overall pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It felt unique. Like I said, it was like kind of a meld of two different styles of art or multiple styles of art.
Yeah.
What did you think about the characters? Obviously, you haven't read it for a while, but did either of the characters stick out to you, or are they kind of forgettable?
I honestly would have to go with forgettable because I can't remember much of the comic.
Yeah.
Which is not, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like I read it and then I was like, whoa, that was weird. And then like, which wasn't that long ago. I've read it a few months ago, and I already can't remember it.
Yeah. So Suzie is kind of like a nerdy librarian do-gooder who discovers that through the power of orgasm, she can stop time.
I remember that John, he would stop time and he would like sneak into the sex shop.
Yeah,
And
as a
steal
kid.
porn and
yeah, as
stuff?
a kid, he would do that. And then as an adult, what he would do is when his boss would piss him off, he'd go in the bathroom, masturbate, and then go take a shit in his plant.
Oh, that's right.
The comic is like very crass like that, where it's there's sophisticated humor and then there's like normal poop joke humor. That's funny. In fact, throughout like two of the issues, once John and Suzie meet, she keeps saying like he keeps saying something and then she'd be like, butt stuff? You want to do butt stuff? And he's like, no, what is your insistence with that? And it comes up again and it makes it the joke ties together. But then we also have I think they call themselves the Sex Police.
I do remember them. I just remember dildo swords.
Yeah, they have like one of them has a fleshlight that has a taser inside.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, the other one like has a dildo that he uses as a sword, and then the main one is they call her Kegel Face because she achieves her orgasm by doing Kegels. So she
Damn.
yes, so she makes like a really gross like scrunched up face, and then all of a sudden time stops because she's doing Kegels.
That's
and
pretty
whatever.
intense.
It's funny as shit though. So we get introduced to them at the end of issue 4, I think, and then we see them a little bit again in issue 5, and then Suzie and John get away. So we don't know much about them.
We do know they're regular people, right?
Yeah, they're regular people. She is a desk cop or she answers the phone at a police station. I'm not really sure if she actually is a cop or if she's just like a secretary or something. Mm-hmm. The fatter guy with the zapping fleshlight, he's a bus driver, and the other one I don't think we know anything about. He wears like a kabuki mask.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And then I'm just trying to remember because like everything's all jumbled together because I just read it. Let's see. So they both discover, well, they're like young teenagers, that they have this power to stop time. They think that maybe this is what everybody experiences. So in both issues where they introduce like the characters, they go through like their backstory and like how they discover. She would use like the tub, the water in the tub. I remember that. And then he was like, he found the porn magazine in the woods, and then he's like, I said I was only gonna do it for 10 seconds. I barely lasted 8. It's really funny. And then, like you said, he kind of made a habit of, he's not bad, but he does things that aren't good. Like he breaks into places and steals stuff.
Yeah.
He would steal porn. He would like fuck with people when time was frozen. And then he convinces her, once they've met and they've been together for like 3 or 4 days, her library's failing. The library that she works at is failing, can't make payments, and the bank is going to foreclose on them. And he convinces her that they should start stealing money, that they should use their power and go steal a little bit of money from multiple banks so that the library can pay off their debts. And that gets them into comical situations, and she's struggling with it like the whole time. So it shows her character development. In the beginning, she's like, no, I'm completely against this. And then like a little girl comes into the library and asks for like help doing research, and that reminds her of when she was little and she found out that she had these orgasming powers, or the time-stopping powers.
Right.
And she goes to her librarian and she goes, I need help with research. And like for whatever reason, that reminds her of that. So then she's like, okay, I have to do this to help save the library. People need libraries. So then her character develops, and then it kind of becomes a little bit more sinister, where she seems to get off on doing this because they have sex in public places. Oh. Time stops, and then they go in and break. Yeah, they go in and they break in, they steal money. But then, as they're doing this and stealing money from multiple places, somehow Kegelface, and we don't know her real name, so I don't know.
We probably will learn it.
Yeah,
eventually.
We see her family at one point, but only for like 2 seconds. But she has been following them around. She somehow figured out. I'm sure they have some way to monitor when people use the powers. But there's like one scene where they're practicing before they're going to break into a bank. They do it in the car, and then they go into Cum World, which is the like sex shop that he would break into. Right. And he starts like fucking with stuff and like knocking shelves over. And she's like, no, we shouldn't do this. We should do something else. So then they're in there for a long time with the time stopped. And they're like rearranging things and like making it look nicer. And then when time starts again, when they leave, everybody starts going nuts and like beating each other up and like eating dildos and shit like that. And it's like, we don't know why. I'm sure that's going to come up later, like in Volume 2. If you can hear that, that's thundering outside. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's a good old
storm coming in.
But... So I don't know if that's going to come up later, if like there's some side effect for being around this for so long. You know, like the people, they were in there for like, they said, you know, it felt like hours. So maybe there's some side effect that makes people go nuts. And that might be how
What is it that makes them start time again?
Okay, so for her, I couldn't really tell. For him, he said as soon as he feels ready to have sex again, then time starts.
Oh, okay.
So as long as he is not horny or not aroused...
As long as he's soft.
Yeah, as long as he's not in the mood, then he can stop time. For her, it sounds like it might be the same thing, but because it's a female and females can be ready much quicker, when she does it, time starts again much faster. Because like for him, it could be hours. For her, it's usually 20, 30 minutes. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then also notable is his dick glows.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like, well, I don't know. It was weird. And he said that lets me know how long I have left until time starts or something.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, whatever. Not gonna dig.
Don't they have like different terms for when
yes,
when time stops?
She calls it the quiet. and then he jokes that she's like, "Oh, you're so poetic and stuff." He calls it Cum World because that's where he would sneak into whenever he would.
That Cum World sounds better. It's fun. It makes more sense.
Yeah,
that sounds like something some guy would call it.
Yeah.
And quiet. That does sound really like poetic.
Poetic and artsy. Yeah. So over the course of the 5 issues, we get introduced to the characters. The two meet at a party that she's throwing at her house to try to raise money for the library, and then they hit it off when she's like, "Oh, my favorite." Some guy's hitting on her, and she's like, "My favorite book is Lolita." And he's like, "Oh, that book about that whore." And then up walks John, and he's like reciting lines from the book and stuff like that. And then she's like, "Fuck yeah!"
Suave.
So she's like, "Fuck this guy. I'm gonna go talk to this guy." And then they end up having sex, and then they both start freaking out because they're both in the quiet or cum world or whatever you want to call it, where time stopped for everybody besides those two. And they both freak out, and then it's like their relationship evolves because they think they're the only ones that have these powers. And then over the course of the next couple of issues, we get introduced to the people who are this part of the sex police. And they also have those powers, and it's really interesting. It's a very interesting comic. I'm definitely going to continue reading.
I'm definitely going to pick up Volume 2, which Volume 2 just came out recently.
Yep.
So,
if you like digital comics, I put a link in the description for Comixology. It's $9.99 for Volume 1. I think it's $14.99 for Volume 2. Otherwise, go out and support your local comic shop.
Yeah.
So I guess that's about it. That's everything.
Yeah,
that I think we can
wish
talk
I
about.
had. I don't really have much to say about it, honestly, just because I think it was so forgettable.
Yeah,
but I still want to read Volume 2 because it was one of those comics where, like, obviously I read it months ago, so I don't really remember everything that happened, but it was intriguing enough where I want to keep seeing where this story is going.
Yeah, it's a interesting premise. It's really funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. The art's really good. My only complaint with it is at times it feels like the story jumps around a lot, and you kind of get lost in it.
I think that was my problem reading it too.
Yeah, especially like the first 2 issues, I think, are more prone to this than the later issues, but they do like the jumping around edit thing that it just sometimes makes things very confusing. Like I think issue 3 starts with the last sequence of the last comic, basically, or like some of the last sequence of the last comic, and then it goes through, and then it jumps to a different part, and then it goes through, and it jumps to like the part before that, and it's like you know what I mean? It's just, it gets kind of confusing, but it's like I said, an interesting premise. The art's good, the writing is really funny. There's no reason not to pick it up.
Yeah.
I know you didn't get a chance to stop at Big Brain to pick up any comics.
No,
but there was some comic stuff that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so let me just pull up my thing here on my phone of comics that I'm going to pick up this weekend that I wasn't able to get today. But so we've got Amazing Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows #1, which is because of the whole Secret Wars thing going on with Marvel. They can basically do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So. In this, Peter Parker is once again married to Mary Jane, and they have their daughter May I think she was ended up stillborn in the comics.
Okay.
But it was like, so it's like a what if, like, hey, this actually happened sort of thing. And I heard it's really good, and I really want to check it out because when they did get rid of the Peter's marriage to Mary Jane in the comics, I, like everyone else, was not happy about that.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that. What was another one that's out this week? Groot #1.
Mm-hmm. Pick it up.
Yeah, because
looks good.
am really. None of these I've read yet because obviously I haven't gotten to go get any. But Groot #1, the art looks awesome in this. I saw a preview for it. It looks like it's going to be pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, definitely check out Groot #1. Just scrolling through here to see if there's anything else that I'm missing.
Star Wars.
Yeah, yep. Star Wars #5.
Yep.
There's a big reveal spoiler for the Star Wars series in that, so definitely check out Star Wars #5.
Yeah. It may have some influence on Episode 7 or beyond.
Well, the current Star Wars comic takes place in between Episodes 4 and 5.
I thought it took place after.
Nope, it takes place
Okay.
in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes
Okay.
Back.
For some reason,
So
I
that
thought
makes it
took
even
place
more
after.
interesting because it's, I don't know, it's kind of developing these characters a little better.
Well, yeah. I won't say anything. I was going to say something because I was like, oh, this could be this.
Nope.
But no, I won't say anything.
Justice League number 41. It's the first Justice League post Convergence. So I'm probably going to check that out, even though Convergence was not very good.
Yeah.
So, just trying to think. Nothing.
Still no Secret Wars, right?
No, there's Secret Wars 3 is out.
Okay.
Man, I got too many comics to pick up this weekend. Secret Wars number 3 is out.
Mm-hmm.
I swear there was another one. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But,
Yeah.
So maybe on Saturday when we do the show, I'll bring in the comics that I pick up and we'll talk about something else. So, is there anything else we need to
No, I think that's it.
cover? It's kind of a short video, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Short's
not
bad.
a lot to go in depth on yet because
Yeah.
most of this comic that we just read is a lot of setup.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get a lot more
Mhm.
in volume 2.
Yeah.
There's only been 10 issues of this comic so far.
Yep. So issues, like volume 1, issues 1 through 5. It's very much getting introduced to these characters and then this weird power that they have without much explanation. So hopefully in issues 6 through 10, we get more explanation or more action or something.
Yeah.
If people want to find you on the internet, Scott, where do they go?
Find me on Twitter, Instagram at ScottyBoy, SCOTTYBWO 4 Ys.
I just realized I didn't put the lower thirds on.
That's fine.
Whatever. You can find me on the internet at Hagnerd, Hagnerd. Instagram, Twitter,
All that
pretty
shit.
much everywhere. You can follow Fuzzy Loaf on Twitter at Fuzzy Loaf.
Whoa, thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Sorry. Couldn't help myself.
If you like this, give it a like, comment on it. Let us know what comics you want us to read or talk about.
Yeah, if
or
you've read
graphic
this, what do you
novels.
think?
Yeah.
We also do our weekend movie and TV news roundup.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about all the movie and TV news of the past week and stuff.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff this week. So
Yeah. I know, it's weird because it was like the first half of the week, I'm like, man, there's really nothing. And all of a sudden, boom.
we owe that to El Mayembe
Yeah.
at Heroic Hollywood for all the stuff that he's dropped this week with the launch of his new site. So
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
He used to be.
He used to be part
Latino
of
Review.
Latino Review.
Okay, yeah, I was
he
going to
split
say.
off, and now he's got Heroic Hollywood.
Well,
It's
now I have another
all
site
new
to follow.
Yeah, it's great. Check it out.
Yeah. Otherwise, sorry. I also do a video game podcast. There won't be one this week because I'll be out of town. But then I also do on Monday like a short 5-minute video that wraps up the weekend box office numbers. I make predictions for next week.
So tell me real quick, what were your predictions for this weekend?
This weekend, Entourage #1.
Really?
Yeah, it'll do more than 40 million.
None of the ones that I've heard have said Entourage #1.
I think Entourage will do #1.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be beat by San Andreas. Then
Bros
I think
are gonna love Entourage.
I think Insidious 3 is gonna, because Insidious 2 did 40 million last year, but that was closer to Halloween. I think this will do about 35, so I think this will be 2. I think San Andreas will stay number 3. Tomorrowland or Pitch Perfect. I can't remember which one for number 4. Or no. Number 4, Spy.
Oh,
And then number 5, a toss-up between Mad Max or Pitch Perfect.
I think Spy's gonna make more than Insidious
I
and San Andreas.
I'm not. Yeah, it could. That was one that I don't know.
This is definitely a weekend where it's really a toss-up.
Yeah, with Spy. The only thing that I'm not sure, it has a much bigger marketing spend than a lot of Melissa
But
McCarthy's
it is
other movies.
also rated R.
It's rated R, and I think this is going to be one that it has a longer tail. I think
I
it's
don't
going
want
to
to see it. Here's got a lot really good action in it.
Yeah, I said it's going to do slightly less than 20 million this weekend. I think it'll continue to be in the top 5 for at least like 4 or 5 weeks. I just don't know if it's going to have a big opening weekend. I don't know that people are going to rush out to see this.
Sweet.
You know that Entourage is going to have a lot
I
of
might
people.
go see it this weekend. I'm not seeing Entourage. I'm not a
No,
freaking.
but the only reason why I'm scared about Entourage being #1 is it opens Wednesday night. So Wednesday night's not going to count for weekend box office.
It actually opened last night.
I thought it opened tonight.
It opened
I forget
last
that
night.
tonight is Wednesday.
Today's the actual.
Yeah, so
Like, you know, like
it
when
might.
it opens on Friday, but it opens Thursday night.
Yeah.
It opened last night, and it stays the
Ooh,
first day.
man.
So it's not gonna. That's not those numbers. I don't think are gonna.
No, it's not going to count. That was
That's why I
my
don't
that
think
was my
Entourage is
only
gonna be
worry.
#1.
But I think it'll do more. I think it'll do at least 40 million this weekend because there's a lot of people that for whatever reason like that show. So
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see.
yeah, how wrong
Monday.
I am. I was 5 for 5 this week. I was
Really?
yeah, and I got the totals within 3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, damn.
You should be on Box Office
I
Breakdown.
know. I was like, I should have.
You should have called in.
I know. I was like, I should have called in. I did my show and then I watched theirs afterwards, and I was like, these people are wrong.
Well, you gotta start calling in then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it. So, like I said, if you like this content, give us a like, subscribe.
Check out some of our other videos.
Yeah, we do a lot
I
of
think
other
we're
stuff.
gonna have a guest on our show on Saturday.
Yeah. Ooh.
So no one you're gonna know. So
Well, you don't know that. Maybe they'll know.
maybe.
All right. Well, smell you later, dweebs.
Bye.